Hey Awaken friends, Chris here, and welcome to a Get Ready With Me little sequence, little flow to bring some fire to start your day. If you've got a spare few minutes, this is a great way just to quickly dial into your body, get some movement through all parts of your body. We're going to work everywhere. So to start with, can you come to the top of your mat? We're going to bring our knees together and we're going to do 50 tuck jumps. I'm joking, I would never make you start a day doing that. Can you come down onto the mat, onto your hands and knees into a tabletop position, and let's get into it. If you don't already like and subscribe to our channel, please subscribe to the channel, like all the videos so you can find more of this content. Coming with your shoulders straight over your wrists, hips over your knees. We're going to get straight into it today. You don't need any props, but bring your chest open and forward and come into a nice cat-cow. Exhaling as you really articulate that spine, doming it up, feeling that nice curvature. Inhale, coming forward. And to bring some heat and some movement in, maybe bend the elbows, keeping the hips and the knees moving back, and just rolling around a little bit, but connecting your movements to your inhale and your exhale. This is the flow when I want to create a class, when I want to do a sequence, when I'm at the gym and I want to get warmed up. I love just to jump into this one quickly, because in 10 or so minutes, I can really fire up my body. Coming back to center, can you move your hands so the fingers point to the long edges of the mat? And come back to that breath. And now with your breath, can you start to notice it moving in through your nose and out through your nose, if possible, to really start building up the heat and the fire in your body and keeping that breath circulating with your movements. Back to center, and we're going to tuck our toes and lift our hips up to downward facing dog, keeping a nice gentle bend in the knees so we can just pedal it out. Maybe moving a bit of a bend through the elbows too, rolling the shoulders open and back, tailbone pointing up to the sky. When we're nice and centered here, coming to the balls of both feet and moving the heels down across to the right side of the mat, feeling that nice stretch through the side body. Coming back to the balls of the feet and heels down to the left side of the mat, with a nice good stretch. Coming back to center, bending the knees just a tad to lift the tailbone higher, and then rolling the spine all the way through. So we roll and roll and roll and roll, so we arrive into a plank pose, bringing the knees down if this is a bit too strong for this early in the class. But after your plank pose has been held for a minute, not holding for a minute, we're going to hold for a moment, heels moving to the back of the room, bending the knees, we're going to lift the hips up to the sky, coming back to our downward facing dog. We're going to come back into that little sequence, balls of the feet, heels moving to the right side of the mat, feel the stretch here. And coming back to the balls of the feet, heels moving down to the left side of the mat, and feel that nice opening stretch. Coming back to center, bending the knees, hips go higher as we roll that spine and move up into a plank position. Bending the knees just a tad, let them hover above the ground as we move back into our downward facing dog. And third time's the charm, coming to the balls of the feet, heels down to the right side of the mat. Stretch open, feel the length through the shoulders. Coming back to center and heels down to the left side of the mat, feeling that opening. Heels back to center, bending the knees, hips go high, roll that spine, roll, 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 all the way to plank pose. And this time knees come down. And bringing our hands so that our fingers point to the back of the mat. As we arrive into our kind of nice, where we started, to that cat-cow. But now we're going to rock back a little bit to lift the palms and then roll forward. Bring a bit more opening through the collarbones, through the shoulders, and especially through the wrists. If this is too strong, you can bring the hands back to the normal position. This is a nice way just to get some more flexation through the wrists. Coming back to center, tucking the toes, and coming back up into our downward facing dog. Coming to the ball of the left foot, right foot will float up to the sky. Right knee comes up through the chest, right toes to right thumb, opening the foot to 90 degrees and flowing up into a warrior two. Flipping both palms, fly that warrior up, straightening the front right knee, then exhale, coming down. With a bit more depth, inhale, coming back up, fingertips touch above the head, exhale, back to warrior two. Left hand flows over, finds right, hands land inside of the right foot. And we're going to roll to the outer edge of both feet and float the right hand overhead. And then coming back into center here, right hand to the ground. Just make sure you've got a little bit of room, maybe moving the left foot out a little bit, and then starting to straighten the right knee as the head comes forward. And then breathe in as you move open. Exhale. Right knee straightening, lengthening. Inhale. Opening up, feeling this through the hamstrings, the connective tissues. And just starting to get this body moving, coming back to center. Right foot back to left. Knees come down. Forearms come down. And then your nose will just hover above the ground as you lift up into an elevated position, either into an up dog or a cobra, depending where you want to go. Rolling over the toes and coming back to downward facing dog. And take a nice centering breath here. Coming to the balls of both feet. You're going to hop, skip, or teleport to the top of the mat. Feet are going to be hip distance apart as you raise up into a halfway lift. And exhale, folding down. Grab the elbows and just roll around a little bit. Maybe have a nice bend in the knees to preserve that lower back, or you're straightening out. Whatever feels good. Coming back to a halfway lift and then lifting up a little bit more as we come up to standing. We're going to come to the balls of both feet, hands out in front. So we're standing up almost on our toes, bending the knees as we come down very slowly, as slow as we can, gracefully as we can. Heels and bum are almost touching, and then slowly sitting all the way down to the ground. And coming back into a low boat pose. Hands overhead, feet out in front. And then lifting up into a high boat pose. And then slowly coming back down into a low boat, hands overhead, feeling that length. And back up to a high boat. And lowering down to a low boat pose. Feet coming down to the ground. Just reach back so your fingers might just touch the back of your heels. This always isn't the best measure because people have different length legs and arms, but it's a good place to be. And then bridging your hips up and lowering down and bridging up and lowering down. And one more time up. Nice length, feel that strength, feel those glutes activating. And exhale down, crossing the legs, rolling over the crossed legs, and coming back into our tabletop position, tucking the toes, and arriving back into our downward facing dog. Coming to the ball of the right foot, left foot floats up to the sky. Left knee comes up through the chest, left toes to left thumb. Right foot to 90 degrees as we flow open to our warrior two. Flipping both hands, fly up to flying warrior. Exhale, hands down. Bit more depth, then raising back up. Front knee straightens, fingertips above head. Exhale. Back down. Right hand coming over to find left hand to the inside of both feet. Maybe stepping the right foot out just a bit so you've got a bit more room. And then rolling to the outer edge of both feet. And left hand floats overhead to this nice horizon lunge. And exhale, left hand down to the ground. And back to this pulsating lunge as we straighten the front knee. And then exhale, leaning forward into a longer lunge position. Just starting to breathe here. Let your breath flow with you as you move through this little sequence. Stretching out those hamstrings, stretching out the connective tissues, and then hands down to the ground, left foot back to right, and then very slowly bring the knees down. The forearms come down, and we breathe up into an up dog or a cobra, whatever works for you, and exhale over the toes to downward facing dog. And coming back to the balls of both feet, bending the knees, hop, skip, or teleport to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips just below the knees to press out. And exhale, folding down. And just ragdoll again. Bit of movement here, through the hips, through the spine. Inhale, coming back up to our half lift, bending the knees as we roll all the way back up to standing into our nice Tadasana pose, only here for a minute. Hands out in front. I keep saying minute, I mean moment. Coming to the balls of both feet. Nice onto tippy toes. And then ever so slowly coming down so that our bum's going to meet our heels. Still on the toes, resting on the toes. And then gracefully, effortlessly sitting down to the mat. There isn't too much graceful about that for me, but that's okay. Coming to low boat pose. Hands overhead. Rising up to high boat pose. And then can we just come back down, keeping our hands by our sides. And we're going to lift up. Open and close. We're going to do it 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it there. Hold it there for a moment. Or don't hold it there. Or wobble wherever you go. And the feet coming down, crossing over. rolling over the knees, coming back into our tabletop position, stepping back into plank, and holding our plank for just a moment here. Feel the strength, feel the fire moving through your whole body, your whole system, and then very, very slowly, on the count of 5, we're going to lower to the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arriving, and then gently pressing up into a cobra position, and exhale down. Inhale, pressing back up to cobra, lifting the hands a little bit here, and then bringing the hands out just above us. And then cactus the hands back down. One more time, inhale, hands coming up, fingertips touch, and then cactus the hands back down. Hands underneath, rolling our feet back over, arriving back up into a hero's pose with our bum sitting on our heels. And take a nice breath in. Inhale, fingertips above our head. Exhale, hands down to heart center. And you should be feeling pretty warm by now. This has been a little sequence that I love to do if I've got any type of movement pattern or I'm about to do something at the gym and I just need to quickly warm up or fire up. So I want to thank you for flowing with me, for jumping on the mat, for getting this nice sequence in. And I hope whatever you're going to do for the rest of the day is as amazing and brings you joy. Thanks for flowing with me and look forward to flowing with you again soon. Namaste.